questions.
You've said that
Have you had any assessments done yet on what the sentencing changes you've just laid out might mean for the prisons, Muster?
Yes, and I'll let Paul talk to that.
Yes, the estimates could be around about between 1,400 and 1,700 extra prisoners per annum after 10 years, with a cost potentially around $160 million to $190 million over that period.
We have the beds?
Yes, we will have the beds, and we've also invested significantly in the corrections, obviously, in budget.
In terms of the fiscal cost of increasing the number of the prison population,
Yep.
the government's previously said that new initiatives have to be funded by reprioritisations. Has anything been reprioritised to pay for the fiscal cost of this?
No, because essentially, this was factored into our budget in 2024. So, at this point, we've got enough flexibility in the system. As Paul said, you've got potentially up to maybe 2,000 extra prisoners in 10 years' time at 2034.
what does it say about you just accepting the will of the police without any kind of select committee process?
I think it says that we're going to back the police.
Worse than terrorism?
Well, I don't, that's a silly question.
No, it's not, because you're not banning the use of terrorist symbols. And you're banning the use of gang patches. So in your mind, and you've just defended that by saying that gangs cause harm. In your mind, do gangs cause more harm than terrorists?
Well, we're not having a debate about that broader issue at the moment. We're focused on gang membership, and that's what we're focused on here, and that's what we're doing.
If someone get rocking into Parliament wearing a swastika, on their coat or whatever, would you be comfortable with police having powers to go into their home and find any other swastikas?
I wouldn't be comfortable with it, but that's for police to deal with.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be comfortable with them going into someone's home to find a swastika?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the gang insignia, and that's the legislation that we're on here at the moment. And what we're bringing before government, what we're going to be passing this week, is a tough piece of legislation that's focused on dealing with the scourge that gangs create in our communities.
You mentioned 80%, about 80% more ram raids over the period of 2019 to 2023. What data are you drawing on there?
Well, it's police figures that we've come from, and the other figure that we use for the target, of course, is the victimisation survey, but it's the police figures we're on.
Why are you not marrying up those two sets of data? Because you relied quite heavily on police data when you were in opposition, but you're measuring yourself against the victimisation survey when you're in government.
What I'd just answer there are sort of what are called output KPIs, for want of a better word, or outcome KPIs, which is what the 9 that we've selected are. Obviously, there's things that feed into them. You would
have. Because yesterday you went out and said crime is coming down in Auckland. Meanwhile, you're sitting on data that shows crime across the country is going up. Unfortunately,
you weren't there at the stand-up, but I talked about that there.